My mom took us to therapy to try and wrap the family back together after her string of abusive boyfriends lost her custody of us, but she claimed she was doing all she could to protect us, so I went off on how she didn't do anything but split us apart. I apologize for any grammatical errors, I'm on mobile at the moment. Hello all, I, 23F, am in sort of a pickle and currently my majority of my family is against me. My mother, 41F, has 6 kids altogether. Myself, my sisters, 22F, 19F, 17F, 16F, and my brother, 23M. Growing up was sort of drama for all of us. My mother never had a good track record of picking good men, and a lot of times me and my siblings would witness her boyfriends beat her or berate her. Her second boyfriend would often hit us when me and my siblings were younger as well. It's a whole lot more, but then this post would be very long. However, about 5 years ago, my mother lost custody of my 3 younger sisters. There was some abuse going on with my mother's most recent ex-boyfriend. We didn't want our sisters in foster care, so me and my brother begged our grandmother to take them in, until me and my brother could come up with a plan or take custody of them. Dramatic, I know, but it's always just been me and siblings against the world in my eyes. My grandmother, the saint she is, took my sisters and told me and my older brother not to worry about getting custody of them because we should be focusing on our lives in college. While me and my brother were hesitant at first, we decided to head off to college to kind of build up some status, I should say. I dropped out of college because I couldn't afford to keep up with the cost and get my tuition down below a certain cost. However, my brother graduated last year. Smile, my sisters have been happy with living with my grandmother, and my grandmother loves having them around. She says she gets to see her grandbabies every day and it's a blessing. They are comfortable living with her and my grandmother has no change of still caring for them. But back on course with my mom. When she lost custody, me and all my siblings with no contact with her, including my grandmother. Around 2 months ago, my mother sent me an email explaining that she would like to get back in contact with us and do family therapy. At first I didn't say anything to my siblings because in a sense I felt like I was protecting them. However, she sent me a second email the following month after explaining that she broke up with her boyfriend and she really missed us. She wanted to do family therapy because she had a lot of pain built up and she knew that we probably did as well. I talked with my grandmother about it and she told me that I should ask my siblings if they wanted to and have it be their choice. I spoke with my siblings about it and the youngest were on board because they did miss our mom. However, myself and my other siblings were hesitant. But, for the sake of my younger siblings, I responded to her and we set up a time to meet up. About 3 weeks ago, we met up at a restaurant and my mother looked exhausted, but eager to see us. I declined a hug because I wasn't comfortable with it and my mother looked pissed. My mom got caught up with all of us and she asked during our lunch if my younger siblings would consider coming back home and her getting custody back. My younger siblings said they weren't sure and I could tell they looked uncomfortable. I tried to change the subject, but my mom wrapped it back around. She started mentioning on how we all could be a family again now that we're older and she can rebuild what was broken. The rest of the meeting became a blur for me because I honestly checked out. A lot of buried emotions were coming up and I shut down. After the meeting, I got an email from my mom later that night that she was really upset that I didn't hug her or say goodbye to her when we left. She said it was giving a bad impression to my younger siblings and they would probably start mistreating her as well. I'm not going to lie, that email filled me with anger because she had a lot of audacity. I didn't respond and I got another email from her, but it was a confirmation for our first family therapy session. We had it yesterday. We did the usual first introductory process and getting familiarized. Later during the session, my mom was going on and on of how she did everything she could to protect us and etc. The silence from me and my siblings were pretty loud and our counselor/therapist asked how we felt about that. My other siblings didn't speak. I wasn't planning on speaking either, but then what my mom said just made me snap. She told our therapist that I told them not to say anything because I wanted to turn my siblings against her and she scheduled this session to help us and not split us apart. After that, I just went off. I started screaming that she wasn't a good mother and she did nothing to protect us. She constantly vented to me about her relationships or her problems. This led me to internalize a lot of her issues as my own or my stressors. She never protected my brother when her boyfriends would beat on him when he tried to protect either her or my sisters. She never even thought of reporting her ex when my sisters first came to her about the abuse they experienced at his hands. I went off on a lot of other things, but at this point she was bawling and so were my siblings. I told my therapist that if anyone was splitting the family up it was her with her stupidity, ignorance and just flat-out neglect. I was breathing hard after the incident and after thinking about it, I'm not happy at all I blew up like that. My therapist decided we should take a break, but I told him I was just done. I was not going to sit here and listen to her trying to blame me for her actions or her problems. The session ended quickly after that, and later on in the night, my phone started blowing up with calls and texts from my mother's side of the family. They started berating me and saying that I was a horrible person for hurting my mother like that and making her feel horrible. They were on a tangent on how she was trying to turn a new leaf and actually work at rebuilding our relationships with us. After all the calls and texts, I've been feeling like a bad person for saying that to my mom. So honestly, am I the jerk here? Edit. I will add some context, seeing as I didn't elaborate much because I didn't want to have type a novel and have anyone read so much. My grandmother, she is my mom's mom. She cut her off because my mom would constantly steal money from her or sneak boys into the house when she knew my grandmother wouldn't like it. My grandmother is a SA survivor of my grandfather/my mom's dad. My grandmother actually took him to court to get him arrested, which is why she is essentially the black sheep to majority of our family. My grandmother explained to me when I was much older that our family has a lot of SA history from family members. Our family is highly religious and feels as though we should pray over them every day to heal them. Why I felt awful. My mother is also a victim of abuse. And I felt like I was being a hypocrite for calling her out and saying what I said because it was as though I wasn't taking her abuse into account either. However, as many of you have mentioned, even with her being a victim, she still let the abuse happen. I think reading that is what made me start crying. Myself and my siblings never got counseling because we just thought it was our fault we experienced the abuse. In our talks before, we often tried to hold the burden of not protecting our mom more. My mom's side of the family, they are enablers and abusers themselves. My grandmother has countless stories about them. I feel as though a part of them wants my siblings and I to make up so we can appear to be a happy family. They do have a serious issue with appearances. My siblings, my brother is the real star of the show, honestly. Before we even made it to the first session, he told my youngest sister that mom will probably say a lot of things, but if she wasn't ready to talk or if she wanted solo therapy, he would pay for it in full. After the session, she decided to do so because she has a lot of complicated feelings about our mom. My other sisters are still emotionally distraught. They did thank me for saying the truth and what needed to be said. They said they couldn't say anything because they didn't know how to word it. Yet again, like me, they didn't want to be cruel. Commenter: she tried manipulating you into manipulating your sisters into agreeing with custody after gaslighting you for not being loving with her. Then she lied to the counselor about how she treated you in her relationships and in her custody. Then lied about you influencing your sisters. If that counselor was worth her observations, she'd see through your mother's BS. Definitely get therapy, but without your mother. She doesn't want to fix things with her children. She probably wants the money that comes with support of your youngest sisters. Why would she alienate you if she wants to reunite the family? Oop, I'm pretty sure our counselor did. During my outburst, I noticed her writing a lot on her notepad. I'm pretty sure my mom will try to reach out to her to force contact or try to schedule another session, but I'm honestly declining it. She has already proved that she will continue to not protect us or even apologize. Update. Hey all, update for those who wanted it, also heavy abuse TW because I will get emotional and vent a bit later on in this update. If you are a childhood survivor, I wouldn't recommend reading past this since it could possibly be triggering. My siblings and I have decided to go NC with our mother for good. It was a hard conversation this morning and I felt like again. I felt like my outburst persuaded them to make that decision, so I wouldn't be upset with them. Yet they reassured me throughout the whole conversation that they didn't like that she didn't even apologize. Even when she had the opportunity to. My siblings and I are still struggling with the fact that she won't change and she probably never will. The driving force for it was the email that I got from Mother at 4 a.m. today. I copied and pasted it here since I don't know how to post pics/screenshots on mobile. Dear Juju, my nickname when I was younger. I am truly hurt and devastated that you went public with a private matter. Your Auntie May showed me your Reddit post. And yet you continue to try to villainize me. I was going to explain myself further in therapy, but I'm in a new relationship now with a very loving man. He was the main one who encouraged me to extend an olive branch with you all. I was going to surprise you and your siblings in therapy. However, you ruined it. I stayed my distance from you all because after losing your sisters, it made me realize I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror anymore. It made me realize how much of a worthless piece of shit I was. You calling me a worthless how of a mother was uncalled for. In those relationships I couldn't just simply walk away. Where would I have gone? What about you guys? Do you not think it ate me up inside every time you guys cried? Every time I did try to protect you guys just to get the life beat out of me? Being knocked out cold and not knowing if you guys were safe or not? Did any of that not matter to you? I'm trying to redeem myself while also being a victim and you simply can't get your own head out of your butt. You complain about your pain not realizing I was a victim too, Juju. We all were. I hate to sound harsh, but you're an adult and can hear these things now. I tried my hardest to protect you all. For you to dog on all my effort in your rant and call me almost every name in the book in front of our therapist, your siblings, and the blatantly visible disrespect to me? All of it, truly uncalled for. I will not have contact with you until you apologize to me for what you said. You broke my heart, Juju, but Mama still loves you, and me going no contact with you is to show that you can't just hurt someone because you yourself are hurting. I will be over to see your sisters later at my mom's place to talk one-on-one with them. I will appreciate it if you are there to apologize. But if you will not, then I highly ask that you not be there. The email really crushed me a lot. I completely understand that she was a victim as well. Like I also mentioned to a kind Redditor that messaged me last night, she did provide what she could. Yet there were many moments we either went hungry or without some necessities. SP? One of my most embarrassing moments was asking strangers on the street for money so me and my sisters could get pads and tampons. My mom's third boyfriend threw ours out because he didn't believe in periods. That whole ordeal, among others, were so damn humiliating. I got a mixture of anger and sadness when she said she tried her hardest to protect us. Where was the determination when her boyfriends would beat the hell out of me and my older brother because we didn't want them either alone with our sisters or touching our younger sisters? Where was she when she heard me getting SA in the room right next to her and heard me screaming for her? It's just a overwhelming sorrow because in her eyes, she did her best. But in my eyes, she did absolutely nothing, and I told her as such and then some in our session. Like many of you pointed out, she may have been a victim, but she did nothing to protect us. I have to sit with that for the rest of my life? My siblings have to deal with that for the rest of their lives. I have to work through all the damage she caused while she gets to play hero and have her redemption arc? I'm done with her, and I'm happy to know the feeling is mutual according to her. She did call my grandmother this morning during breakfast and demanded that she let her see her kids. My grandmother told her that she could try, but she wasn't coming past the gate unless my sisters wanted her to. My grandmother put her phone on speaker and asked my sisters if they wanted to see her. My youngest sister actually responded this time and said no. And not for a very long time at the minimum. My mom tried to scream at my grandmother, but I could hear her voice cracking from trying not to cry on the phone. My grandmother told her she could go F herself and don't call her again. After that is when the conversation about no contact got put into overdrive. My siblings have their own memories of her to account for. They aren't comfortable with me sharing them, so I really just shared mine and a bit of my brother's. It's just also surreal to me. I thought that maybe she was actually okay with being alone, but here she is, not being truthful of when she broke up with her most recent ex. I didn't ask because I don't even care anymore. Yet she's already in a new relationship? It's a hard thing to grasp that my mother just can't be alone. I even feel disgusting calling her my mother because it stings to know that she never really was a mother. Not to me or my siblings. For my family that has been messaging me, I just block them on every social media platform. They stopped trying to call me since I set up my phone with an app to reject all calls from unknown numbers that aren't my contacts. As for my mom, I copied and posted my response here. Victoria, since you are no longer my mother, I have no need for formality. You make me absolutely sick to my stomach. You know the pain you caused me and my siblings. You know you didn't do a thing. You know that you never even had a grain of a maternal instinct. If you did, you never would have allowed us to get hurt. I know you can't sleep at night with those thoughts running around in your head. I hope for the rest of the life it eats you up inside. Your new boy toy will be the only thing by your side when you're frail and almost dust. I'm done allowing you to hurt not only me, but my brother and sister as well. You have no right to try to prance your happy fake butt into our lives now that you see we are doing well without you. It hurts, doesn't it? To know that even through all of it, we are 10 times the better person you could ever imagine in your twisted little head. You don't have to worry about me contacting you. I will have nothing to do with you. Even after your death, I will have no connection and hopefully no memories of you. You may still be alive and breathing. But to me, you are a shallow corpse of a stranger, and I intend to keep it that way. You live in a fantasy world, and I hope on your deathbed you have such a crippling feeling of regret that you croak on the spot. Don't ever contact me or my siblings again. My brother wants you to know he'll spit on your grave if he ever finds out you died, so sleep well with it, you fudging batch. I'm not too proud of my response, but at this point she is not a thing to me. She should have been a long time ago, but it felt so good to get that pain from the most internal part of my chest. I'm pretty sure she won't put up a fight seeing as my words hurt her so much. If she does and her antics are crazy enough, I'll update again. However, for now I'm taking a well-deserved break and I'm signing myself up thought therapy. I realize I have a lot of anger and resentment built up that I need to work through correctly and positively. Thank you guys for the support and the kind messages. I will be posting some of them on a vision board to help through my therapy. Thank you Reddit so much for being here in a time of need for a stranger. Love you all. Commenter. She told our therapist that I told them not to say anything. Knew she really made stuff up in therapy and thought it'd fly.